Welcome. It is Thursday, February 1st, or I'm sorry, January 31st. Well, it's actually it's Friday, February 1st. It's not January 31st. Of course, recording this really late at night. However, I had to, as you can see, we're at 50K. So, time to celebrate, right? Maybe not. Two things. I'll show you what happened and why I'm sitting at a $50,000 mark and why this 1 month chart shows a staggering 15.2% increase over the last month, over $6.6 thousand on this portfolio. I'll show you why this happened and why I'm not as happy as I should be. One, first, let's go over. Uh, Precious metals had a little bit of a boost, so that's all gravy. EXK went 2.78%, sitting at 2.22, now only down $133. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. That's Google. All right, and Apple, of course, up 0.72%. It's sitting at 166. I have a call sold against it at 165, so my gains are capped, even though it's up $149 here. I now my liability, my collateral, I'm sorry, my liabilities increased to 380. I'm not going to be getting any of the gains post 165 here. It's going to automatically sell. So it either has to settle. I'm hoping it just doesn't move for the next couple months so I can re-roll the profits into more gains. But if it moves higher, I'm okay with it. I will have sold and for a pretty big profit. If it moves lower, I'm kind of okay as long as it doesn't move down too far, right? To where some of my gains decrease, even though my liability will have decreased as well from the call option for the 100 shares that I own at the moment. Now, other notable movers is everything else. The market just went up. I had a call option sold against CIG, which is the Brazilian utilities, and that executed. So now I have officially collected the profits from that trade. Um, the only Brazilian company right now that I have is STNE, Stoneco. Now, I don't have much money, it's only $265, but it's up today and making up some of those losses that we saw earlier in the month and last year in December. Um, the emerging market fund was up 0.3%. I have a big holding in that. Um, Wheat and precious metals, let's go down to it. We'll skip by Russia and everything else. Wheat and precious metals, and interesting, is up 3% because the precious metals move. Finally, seeing some movement here. Average cost is almost $17, which is pretty good considering it's over 21. However, 100 of those shares are automatically sold at 20 because, of course, I have sold a call against this company. So I will be left with 133 and not 233 after that. February 15th is the key date for all these options executing. Now I'm thinking of selling more calls at 20 or $21 to make sure I collect some gains from this company, or selling it outright depending on how silver moves. I have been predicting a silver bull and it has materialized, luckily for me. However, as I mentioned in the previous video, vlog, log, whatever you want to call it, um, the miners have been moving a lot weaker than the metals themselves. Historically speaking, they have been moving in a leveraged way, but not as much as they would be normally when we see these kind of technical breakups um, to the upside. So it's very confusing. So I'm not as confident about these trades anymore. Kind of looking to offload a little bit. Um, let's see what else. Sweet precious metals. Uranium has been flat, down a little bit actually. Chemical has been up 0.6%. Uranium business overall ETF URA is up 0.79%. China up 0.3% and Alibaba zero point 0.1. I am up on those positions a little bit. Alibaba I have not that much in it, but as you can see, all time is up almost 20%, 19%. Um, so I'm doing okay. I may be looking to exit FXI, which is the China overall ETF, which is up 1.3%. It has a really nice dividend, but I'm already up 8.8% on this trade, on this position, and I'm not as confident near term, so I may be looking to exit that and add to my cash stack so I can re-roll it in some options. What else is going on? Nothing else notable. So let's talk about now about why I'm not as happy about this 50K milestone and this, quite frankly, spectacular January that I've had. I mean, even the 3 months of this is actually the crash in December. As you can see, I didn't really feel it as much as other people. Went from 45 to 41, only down $4,000 in this, and now I've made up a lot more than that from 41 to 50, which is $9,000. So down 4,000, but up 9,000 in January. And if you remember, if you go back to the vlogs, I was pretty confident during this downturn here that I'm going to be reversing this position. So I went really aggressive in things like Apple, which had been so beat up into an unreasonable level. And it's helped to propel my account higher. Now, speaking of Apple, the big relief rally is over, I think. And if it keeps, it might keep going, honestly, but at this point, my profits are capped. You can see the 3 month in Apple here. It dropped as far down as 142, which is when I entered most of my long position. Um, this is a 1 year chart. It was up as high as 232 and then as low as 142. Now it's sitting on 166. I don't believe that this rally will last too much longer, maybe a little bit longer, as people seeing that the company's not in shambles, even if China is going bad. But let's go back on topic. Why am I not as bullish? And I'm not as bullish because of the macroeconomic outlook. I'm not as, even though the Federal Reserve did a quote unquote bullish, dovish pivot, which quite frankly isn't surprise to a lot of people. It's not, we don't think it's going to be, or I don't think it's going to be enough to sustain this stock market rally here. You can see the SPY is the S&P Standard and Poor 500 ETF, which is the top 500 companies of the US. And it's had a great month, up 10%, less than my 15%, but still a very impressive rebound off of the December lows. Um, I think that even though the Federal Reserve, which is one of the main driving forces of stock valuations out there, because they control the yields which factor into the valuation of stocks. I think that because of this relief rally, because of this positive reaction, they're going to feel confident enough to try to turn the tone into a more hawkish one, which will induce another selling wave. And since usually get burned on the timing of shorting this kind of stuff, um, I might get caught in the wrong timing and lose a bunch of put option buys. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna do that, but I am going to collect some cash and try to be on the safe side when it comes to my selling of options. So I will be seeing a hit. My account will be seeing a hit. I don't see a new high forming here for the S&P or any market in general in the near term, or at least not for the next year. I don't think 2019 is going to be as favorable as a lot of people see it. However, I still will be participating in the long side for the most part into this portfolio, and I'll be happy to be surprised if the fears that I'm having do not materialize. I will still be in silver for the foreseeable future, the next couple months, and see if I can ride out any corrections because I want to collect the upside in silver. Let's take a look at the SLV. Oops, SLV here. SLV, please. I can type. It's late. You can see it's silver's got a really nice month. It's up 4%. A even better week, up almost 3% in just this week alone. So precious metals have been doing all right. 3 months is up almost 8%. And see if I can route out the remainder of the supply shortage, as I explained why I think this is happening in previous videos, previous vlogs, um, because of the overall commodity mining slowdown due to lower commodity prices. Silver is usually a byproduct of some of these miners, and therefore I think it's going to have a supply shortage, which will be short-lived. And I'll be looking to unload some of my EXK and my wheat and precious metals positions here on this portfolio. Alarm. What is this company? Alarm. Okay. So other things that have happened, I've collected some dividends, which is helping me keep above this $50,000 level. And I'm ready for some pain, mentally, anyways. But we'll see. I might get surprised for at least a week or two on the upside, and then hopefully I collect the gains from that. It's going to be an interesting Friday, an interesting couple of weeks coming up. I did want to record that new record yet again and make sure I put that in video form. So it is on record that I have hit the $50,000 mark, even though I might be dropping down to 45 or even 40 in the near future. We'll see how that plays out. Okay, so this is my recap of the day, and my outlook, and my readiness, my definitely expressed readiness for some downside, which I'll be trying to manage as best I can without necessarily going short on anything. It's going to be a very interesting maneuver. All right, so thanks for hanging out and listening to this if you are. And I will be making maybe another video tomorrow if I have the time. If not, definitely next week on Monday. All right, well, that's it for now. I'm going to be chugging along with my strategy, taking this portfolio to 1 million, even if it takes a long time. Hopefully, it doesn't if I do well. And I'll see you all later. All right, peace out.